Awesome. So we are going to do another demo, but we have Craig here to help us. So everybody, this is Craig. You can find him as Can't Tap Craig on Instagram. He is going to be our dog for the day. So thank you, Craig. What we're going to show is basically the chair. The chair is the place of our place bed, just so Craig doesn't break the place bed. But I want to talk through a few things of how we're working through this. So first one we want to touch on again is that successive approximation. So what do I mean by that? When we're free shaping, again, my body is going to be oriented towards the object to get him to be going towards it. He's walking towards it. I'm going to mark that behavior. He's going to come back, get his reward. And then I go back to a neutral position. He goes a little bit closer, mark that behavior. He comes back, gets his reward, continues back on. He gets a little bit closer, maybe gets a hand on there, mark that behavior. He comes back. Now maybe this time he gets a little distracted or gets a little thrown off. Hey, he's kind of heading back towards the place bed. I'm going to mark it right there. He's going to come on back, get paid. So he understands that it's not just what's going on in this area of the house. It's what's going on right in front of me. I want you to be interacting with this object right here, whatever that object may be. So again, I'm going to return to a neutral position. One thing to keep in mind, hang on, Craig. We do have snacks in our pocket. We have food in our pockets. What we don't have is our hands in our pockets. Why don't I have my hands in my pockets? Because this is a signal that you're getting paid. Our dogs pick up on these little signals so quickly. So one thing to keep in mind is keep your hands out the cookie jar. So we're going to keep our hands neutral at our sides. We're going to wait for the dog to start performing the desired behavior. So he gets to the place bed, 2 hands on the place bed, boom, we're going to mark that and pay it and then wait for a little bit more this time. So this next one, I'm going to wait until he gets all the way on the place bed. Now he turned around a little preemptively. I'm not marking that bullshit. He gets all the way on there. Boom, I'm going to mark and pay. And then I'm going to wait for just one more. We're going to try to add a little bit of duration now. Nope, broke that one early. So this time when he gets to the place bed, he may pop off of there right away. I'm not going to pay that. Now he's going to go back and sit on there. I'm going to wait for just a second. Mark and pay, and that's how we're going to add our duration is by just waiting them out. Now that may look like your dog touching on the chair a couple times, touching on the place bed, getting up, and it's just a double touch. That's okay because eventually they're going to skip that double touch and they're just going to wait us out and they're going to sit there until we release them from that behavior, and that's how we're going to add our duration. Now, next question is when you add a verbal marker with this. For me, I don't add a verbal marker until I love the behavior. That is because if I add that verbal marker, I have to start adding accountability. So if I ask you verbally to do something, I now have to hold you accountable to that command. If you blow me off of that command, guess what? That's what the command means. So I have to now hold you accountable. So until I have a motivated behavior and duration in that behavior, I'm not adding a verbal to that command. So what that would look like is once I have motivation and duration, I can spin around, I can walk forward, I can walk backwards, I can throw things. He's not going to come up until I mark and release, and then he's going to come back and get paid. So this next time, come back. This next time, what I'm going to do is, stay here. I'm now going to add a verbal to that. So for a place bed, it's going to look like place, but for this, we're just going to call it chair. So chair, he's already moving towards it. Gets to it, mark and pay. I'm not going to ask for duration because I just increased criteria. I have now added a verbal into the behavior, so I'm not going to ask for duration because duration is harder, right? So I'm going to catch him before he already knows that doing this behavior gets him paid. So the point is timing. I'm trying to capture it right as he's turning to the place bed or right before when he's turning to the place bed. I'm trying to capture it with the chair. Now he's going, boom, gets on there. Mark and pay, jackpot reward, boom, 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 we're all done. That's it. Now we can build off of it from there. But you can kind of see what that progression will look like over time when you start adding in those verbal commands. That's going to be your progression. Again, progress is not linear. I would rather that you are heavier rewarding and your dog is really enjoying the game and it takes you a couple extra sessions to get to that final behavior than for you to rush that behavior and have a sloppier behavior at the end of the day. So for me, slow and steady, make sure that we're heavy reward in the game. We have high motivation in the behaviors. Keep your session short, jackpot reward. Keep in mind those variable rewards as far as how much rewarding. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit more, sometimes it's going to be a little bit less. Again, base that off of the motivation behind your dog's behavior. We're not going to be jackpotting reward when our dog is kind of all over the place and then finally getting to the chair. What I'm going to jackpot reward is when my dog is hustling, getting their ass on the chair, I mark and pay. Hey, here's your heavy reward. Go at it, have fun, let's go. So that's a little bit of a demo of what that progression is going to look like. Let's get back to it with some of these dogs and so you can see organically what that looks like. Thanks, guys.